Okay, here is the last mesoionic molecule from type B, which is 1234 tetrazolium 5 thiolate, and you can see this is the structure of this molecule. In this particular video, I will be talking about two different synthesis methods as well as two important chemical reactions. The first one will be the thermal rearrangement and the second one is the alkylation type of reaction. So before starting, let us have a look on the nomenclature of this molecule. Being symmetrical, we can start from any of these two nitrogen atoms. I mean this one here or this one here. So let us say we are starting the numbering from this nitrogen atom. So it will be 1 here followed by 2, 3, 4 will come to this nitrogen and then this carbon to which sulfur negative is attached. It will be having number 5 such that the name will be 1, 2, 3, 4. We are having 4 nitrogen atoms, so it will be a tetrazolium, and on 5 because we are having a single bond sulfur negative, so it will be what? It will be a 5 thiolate, right? So this is the nomenclature of this molecule, and you know that we can always draw an equivalent structure for our mesoionic molecule, and that will be in this way by drawing two double bonds, the first one here and the second one here, and these two double bonds should be parallel to the axis of symmetry here. I mean if this is the axis of symmetry passing through this molecule, so we can draw two double bonds in this way, right? So obviously one positive charge will come here over the nitrogen atom in this way, right? And after that we can always go for drawing an open chain valence tautomer because it is a type B mesoionic molecule. And how I can do that? By simply shifting these electrons onto this side followed by shifting of these pi electrons to the nitrogen-nitrogen single bond, and finally cleaving this nitrogen and nitrogen single bond in this way, right? And what I will end up with will be this type of valence tautomer. And whatever chemical properties these type B mesoionic molecules exhibits, it will be through the agency of such kind of valence tautomers, right? And now let me tell you one thing, that the dihydrodiathiazone molecule, which is this mesoionic, when the R1 and the R2 group here are the phenyl groups, as you can see here, this particular molecule is the most widely investigated system related to this type of mesoionic molecule, right? I mean when this R1 and R2 are the phenyl groups, the name is what? It is the dihydrodiathiazone, and it is the most extensively studied molecule as far as our third mesoionic molecule is concerned. And now let us have a look on the first synthesis method that starts from dithiazone, and carrying out oxidation with the help of MnO2 will result in the formation of our required mesoionic molecule. Now the mechanism goes like this. You can see here this is the dithiazone molecule, I mean this thing, the starting material, and here is the MnO2, the oxidizing agent, right? Now what happens is that this reaction actually proceeds with the formation of this type of cyclic transition state in which this oxygen will be taking up this hydrogen from here, and these electrons will be shifting to the nitrogen-nitrogen single bond. Moreover, the second oxygen will be taking this second hydrogen from here. Finally, the removal of these two hydrogen atoms, I mean this one here as well as this one here, will take place, and they will move to these two oxygen atoms which are bonded to this manganese atom, right? And in doing all this, what will happen is that a double bond will appear in between the nitrogen and the nitrogen, right? And because it is a removal of the hydrogen atom, so we can call it as an oxidation type of reaction. Now after that, what happens to the MnOH and OH? It releases a molecule of water in this way. I can show it here in this way. It will release one H2O molecule resulting in the formation of MnO. And now what will happen to this molecule here? We can recognize this molecule. It is nothing but it is the acyclic valence tautomer for our mesoionic molecule, such that the valence type of tautomerization for this molecule will give us what? It will give us this 1, 2, 3, 4 tetrazolium 5 thiolate molecule, which is the required product here, right? So this is a very simple oxidation mechanism by which starting from this dithiazone we can obtain our required mesoionic molecule, which is the last type B mesoionic molecule, right? And after that we do have a second method that starts from, as you can see here, it starts from the diphenyl thiocarbazide, which is this molecule here, followed by the reaction with some diethoxy disulfide. This is the diethoxy and here is the disulfide, you can see, right? So in this reaction, the elimination of four molecules of ethanol and 4 elemental sulfur results in the formation of our required mesoionic molecule, which is this, right? And the mechanism is something like this here. I have shown this diphenyl thiocarbazide molecule here, which you can see, and here is the first molecule of diethoxy disulfide, which is represented here, and here you can see this is the second molecule of the diethoxy disulfide. Okay, and I can show it like this. The release of the 4 molecules of ethanol, the first one goes like this, the second one here, the first one was this, second one is this, and then goes the third one, and in the last the 4th molecule of ethanol. Okay, and so what we will get here is, after the release of these 4 molecules of ethanol, we will be having a bond formation obviously in between this sulfur and this nitrogen atom here, and this sulfur will now be bonded to this nitrogen atom after the release of ethanol molecules. In the same way, even this nitrogen now will be forming a bond with this sulfur atom, and finally we are left with this one here. This will also be forming a bond with this sulfur atom. We will end up with this type of intermediate, and after that the bond reorganization will take place, releasing elemental sulfur in this way. I mean shifting of the electrons of this bond. I mean this bond here will take place in between the nitrogen and the nitrogen, and then shifting of these electrons onto the sulfur here, and these electrons of the disulfide bond, they are moving to this sulfur here, such that a double bond will now appear in between the nitrogen, and these 2 sulfur atoms, the first one will be this here and this is the second one. This will go out of the system. In the same way, even from this side of the molecule, the 2 sulfur atoms, the third one here and then the 4th one, these will also be moving out of the system in this way, giving a double bond even on this side of the molecule. And now we can recognize this is the acyclic valence tautomer. It is in the same way which we have encountered in the previous reaction, such that the valence tautomerization of this particular molecule will be giving us this, or I mean the required mesoionic molecule. So these are the 2 methods of synthesis. The first one was from the dithiazone, in which oxidation with MnO2 gives the required mesoionic molecule, and the second synthesis starts from this diphenyl thiocarbazide. The reaction with diethoxy disulfide followed by the elimination of ethanol and sulfur molecules will result in the formation of our required mesoionic, right? And it is now time to talk about the chemical reactions of our mesoionic molecule. So here goes the first reaction, in which you can see that from this mesoionic, if we are adding chloroacetic acid, it results in the formation of this kind of tetrazolium chloride. Okay, so by comparing the product molecule here and the reactant here on this side, you will see and you will observe that whatever reaction is taking place in between the mesoionic molecule and this reactant here, I mean the chloroacetic acid, it is only in this part of the mesoionic molecule, right? So the mechanism will be like this, in which the sulfur negative will be acting as a nucleophile and it will be attacking on this carbon atom to which this Cl or a good living group is attached, right? So when the sulfur negative will attack here on this carbon atom, the Cl will be going out of the system, resulting in the formation of a bond in between this sulfur here and this CH2, resulting in the formation of this type of molecule, I mean sulfur single bond CH2, to which one COOH group is also attached, right? And moreover, this positive charge here will now be neutralized or will be compensated with the Cl negative that will be acting as the counter that will be acting as the counter ion here, right? And this is what this is, our tetrazolium chloride molecule and the final product of this reaction. Okay, the only thing to understand here is that why the sulfur negative is not attacking on the carbonyl of the carboxylic acid here, because we know that the carboxylic acid also contains what it contains, a C double bond O and OH here, right? So we do have one electrophilic center here. So instead of attacking here on the carbonyl of the COH group, it is attacking on this CH2, sending the chlorine negative out of the system. So why it is not giving this type of reaction? The answer is quite simple here, that the oxygen lone pairs here of this hydroxyl group, they are present in electron releasing type of resonance in this way, right? So that whatever partial positive charge was there or whatever electrophilicity was there on this carbon atom, it will be minimized because of the presence of this type of electron releasing or the plus R resonance effect, right? And moreover, the hydroxyl group here is quite a weak type of leaving group, such that when we will be having, let us say, the attack actually took place, resulting in the formation of sulfur, single bond, carbon, oxygen negative here, and here is the OH, right? So now what happens is that the shifting of these electrons, sending the OH negative out of the system, will never be possible because it is not a good leaving group, it is a poor leaving group, okay? So this is the reason why the sulfur negative is not attacking on the carbonyl of this carboxylic acid. Instead, it will be attacking on this carbon here, resulting or releasing the Cl negative out of the system following this type of tetrazolium chloride by this mechanism here. Okay, so this is all about the first chemical reaction, that is the alkylation. And now you can see here the second important chemical reaction for this mesoionic molecule. It is the thermal rearrangement, in which you will see that the phenyl group or the R group here, it is shifting from this nitrogen atom to this one here, as if you have a look on this product molecule, right? So the mechanism is something like, let me draw here first of all the resonating structures for our mesoionic molecule, and it will be like this, right? So drawing a symmetrical axis here, then putting two double bonds parallel to this symmetrical axis and one positive charge here. This will be the resonating structure, I mean the first resonating structure, and then we will be having a second resonating structure, which will be like this here. I mean these electrons shifting from here to here, sending these electrons onto the nitrogen atom, giving a negative charge and a double bond here, right? And moreover, when these electrons will be shifting onto this nitrogen, because it was having a positive charge, so this will become a single bond. The positive charge here will be neutralized, and now what will happen is that this nitrogen atom will be having a positive charge, something like this, okay? And because we are providing a lot of heat energy here, so what will happen is that it will result in the formation of a three-membered ring system because of the bond formation in between this nitrogen negative and this nitrogen positive here, right? Okay, we know that the formation of this kind of three-membered structures is quite an unstable move, but we are providing a lot of heat energy here, okay? So talking in terms of the energy level diagram, what is happening is that if here is present this resonating structure, I mean this one here, and this three-membered structure intermediate will be present something here which will be having a high energy as compared to the starting material. And of course, the formation of this kind of unstable product will be requiring a lot of activation energy that will be provided in the form of this delta, I mean the heat energy which we are giving in this system, right? So because of these thermal conditions result in the formation of a three-membered cyclic structures even, right? And after that, you will see that this unstable ring system will be undergoing electronic rearrangements in this way. I mean the lone pairs will be shifting from here to here, and because of that, the phenyl group which was initially present on this nitrogen here, it will be migrating from this side to this side here, shifting the electrons of this bond which I have shown by the red line onto this nitrogen and carbon, finally shifting the pi electrons of this carbon sulfur onto the sulfur in the form of sulfur negative, right? So I have just shown, this is nothing, this is actually a bigger picture of this diagram here so that the shifting of electrons will be more visible to you people, right? So in this way, the rearrangement, the shifting will take place, finally giving what? This type of structure in which instead of this single bond, we will now be having this double bond, moreover a positive charge on this nitrogen. And you can see here this phenyl group is actually migrating from this nitrogen to this one here, which I have shown in this form, right? And these electrons are moving on to this nitrogen and the carbon bond, giving what? Giving a double bond in this way. And these double bond will now become a single bond, shifting the negative charge onto this sulfur atom, right? And we can say that this structure here is actually equivalent to our product molecule, which is this one here. Okay, so this is the second chemical reaction, that is the thermal type of rearrangement in case of 1, 2, 3, 4 tetrazolium 5 thiolate molecules, right? So this is all about this lecture here. Thank you so much.